America says they support the troops, but do they really? And are you truly giving good advice? We're going to talk about it. Let's get it. Welcome. First of all, welcome. This is Unsolicited Perspectives. I'm your host, Bruce Anthony, here to lead the conversation in important events and topics that are shaping today's society. Join the conversation and follow us wherever you get your audio podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for our video podcast and YouTube exclusive content. Rate, review, like, comment, share. Share with your friends, share with your family, hell, even share with your enemies. On today's episode, it's the Sibling Happy Hour. I'm here with my sis, Aundrea. We're going to be dilly-dadding a little bit, and then we're going to be talking about a cut in the VA, and then we're going to be talking about, are you giving good advice? But that's enough of the intro. Let's get to the show. What up, sis?
What up, brother?
I can and can't call it at the same time, so this is per usual.
How is it both? Like, this is the thing. How is it both?
All right, this is how it's both. I can't call it because it's not that big of a deal, but I can call it because it's an annoyance.
Okay.
This spring forward got me all jacked up.
Oh, man, you ain't said nothing. Yes.
This spring forward, I hate spring forward. Now, fall back, love that because I get an extra hour of sleep. Spring forward, I tried planning for it, and I still screwed up. I'm struggling this morning. I had to listen to my happy rap music in the shower to get myself excited to do the show.
What is happy rap?
Oh, okay. Well, Bernie Mac first coined the phrase happy rap. You know, that's Kid and Play, Salt and Pepper. You know what I'm saying? House music, a little bit of Rob bass, old school late 1980s, 1990s, happy hip hop. Before NWA took over.
Got you. Okay.
Before gangster rap. You know what I'm saying?
We're not talking about the ills of society. We're just trying to have fun and have a good time.
Right. And a little bit of house music as well. A little bit of encore. You know what I'm saying? You know, I love encore.
Yes.
If that could be the intro, if they would ever, if I could ever get the licensing for that song, that would be the intro to the show.
Literally every time I walk into a room, I want to hear every time I walk into a room. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I mean, so I got the little pep in my stuff, but I'm struggling, and that means that I'm gonna be thrown off for the entire week. Like that's how it is.
I mean, we need to get rid of daylight savings period. It literally. What is the reason that we still have daylight savings? I think some states don't have it. I feel like Arizona got rid of it. It completely throws off your sleep pattern. Like, I don't understand what's the purpose.
I don't know.
Why do we still have it?
I don't know what the purpose is, but as of this morning, I really hate it. I love it in the winter. I love it when it's the fall back. You get an extra hour of sleep.
Yeah, but again, then it's dark. Like, it's dark it's dark when you leave the house. It's dark when you come home. Like, you never see the sun.
But you know what? Life is dark, and sometimes you just gotta live in it.
No, that is not. No, that is not good for your mental health. Like, it's not good for your mental health. That's where, it really affects like your seasonal affective disorder. Then you got to get them little lamps that mimic UV rays or whatever, the little happy lamps or whatever. Like, that's too much. It's too much. Let's just get rid of it. I'm done.
Yeah. Speaking of, those lights, I bought one from Temu, and one of my friends who also listens to the show, avid listener to the show, pulled me out because on the last show I was talking about Shein and Temu and how these tariffs is about to make this stuff expensive.
I'm like, let me go buy my business professional clothes now before I can't.
But she was like, don't buy no more clothes from Shein and Temu. I was like, first of all, I've never bought no clothes from Temu. The only thing I bought was some lamps, some stuff that, like a knife sharpener that don't sharpen no damn knives. Like, look, it's a waste of money to buy for stuff from Temu. But Shein, yes. And I was like, well, wait a minute. Like, why not? And it's like all the business practices, the sweatshops. She said there's chemicals that's in the clothing that's bad for us. And I was like, so where am I supposed to get my clothes? Now, she suggested, secondhand stores, or, you just pay for higher quality. And I was like, Yeah, that's the problem. Like I could go to the mall and I can't find clothes that I like. I can find them
Yeah.
online and get them cheap and return them. I was like, you messing up my whole steez. I'm out here styling and profiling, and you telling
Right.
me I'm hurting the community. And I'm like, you know what? At some point, I'm gonna just be selfish. I got to. I need to have clothes that I like. And I'm not
Yeah.
buying no secondhand clothes. I don't care how much you wash them. I'm not wearing no secondhand clothes.
I mean, when you go and try on clothes in the mall, like other people's butts have been in it.
I don't do that anymore. I haven't done that in like 10 years.
I had a professor once in undergrad, and she just made everybody feel horrible. And she said, well, I only either make my clothes or I buy them secondhand. So no new labor goes into my clothes. And she says, because if I am anti slavery, then I can't support these clothing brands who, and I was just like, damn
This
it.
was at Howard, wasn't it?
No, this was at Maryland.
Oh, look, look, why you have to say it like that? Look, sometimes I just don't want to know the truth. Sometimes I want to bask in my ignorance and enjoy my clothes.
I mean, it's she had a point. But also I'm poor. So and I don't know how to sew. So I don't know what you want me to do. Fast fashion, it's fast and it's cheap. And I know that maybe the working conditions aren't great. I don't know. I prefer not to know.
Yeah, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I just want to get my clothes. But yeah, when you get hit with that realness, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm about to go here. It's like when R. Kelly gets arrested and Bill Cosby gets arrested and who else? Diddy. It's just
Mhm.
like, damn, I kind of wish I didn't know because I could just bask in that ignorance and enjoy the music. But when you're made aware of these things, like, oh,
Mhm.
I feel dirty
Yeah.
participating in this.
Yeah.
I'm going to feel dirty participating in wearing those clothes, but I'm going to wear them because I look good at them. Like when I get compliments by putting my fits together, I
Yeah.
can't find those fits in the mall. And also, I don't like trying on clothes and going to the mall because other people have wear those clothes, and you don't know if they're going commando when they try them clothes on.
You really don't know. You don't know what's going on in that dressing room little booth. You don't know what's going on in there.
You don't have
But
no
I
clue.
mean, also it's not that I don't care. I do. I absolutely do care. But y'all seen the clothes they be having for plus size women in the mall, and it's tense and nothing is like cute. But like you go on these fast fashion sites and they have like much more stylish clothing for plus size people, like, or for tall people, or for petite people, or like, there's just more variety on these websites. It's literally like thousands and thousands of articles of clothing on there that you can choose from. So, whereas you go to the mall, like, it's whatever, Anna Wintour or whoever the powers that be decide is acceptable for you to wear at your size or whatever. So I don't, no, I mean, it gives you more options and more variety and more size choices. And until like malls reflect that also, then people are going to shop online.
Got to shop online. And also, I'm tired of going to the mall trying on clothes. They don't fit, and I'm like, can I get the next size? Oh, we don't have that in. You
Yeah.
have to order it. All right. Well, if I had to order it anyway, I
Then I might
might
as
as well.
well.
Yeah, I might as well. So, to my friend, I hear everything that you're saying, and you're
Yes.
right. I'm gonna pick and choose my battles. I gave up R. Kelly. I'm not gonna give up my fast fashion.
Let me tell you, I was in an Uber the other day, and that brother did not give up R. Kelly. He played R. Kelly back to back. Like, it wasn't even like, oh, it's just, it was one R. Kelly song that's still in my mix that I, didn't take out. No, it was back to back R. Kelly and from different albums. So I was like, oh, this is your R. Kelly mix that you're playing right now. And I want to get out of this vehicle, please.
Did you tell him that, hey, could you turn off the R. Kelly?
Nah, I mean, you riding in somebody else's car. You don't know what this. I don't know what this man crazy. I'm just trying to get to my destination.
I feel you. Check
You
it out
know.
though. I'm finding that's falling on gender lines. Men are just being like, it's a big deal, whatever. I like R. Kelly's music. I'm gonna still listen to it. And
Mhm.
women are like, I mean, come on now, all the stuff that he did. And we'll get into patriarchy later on when we talk about advice and things of that nature. And
Mhm.
if y'all really want to hear about some of the patriarchy, we got some real interesting stuff that we're putting in our YouTube exclusive videos, topics that we're going to talk about today that's going to be posted this week. And also, I have decided
Mhm.
that me and you during our breaks in between segments that's never on the podcast be having another whole show. I
Yeah.
clipped something from one of the last shows and I was like, I'm gonna put this on the end behind the scenes and just forgot to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna start doing that. I'm gonna start
Okay.
doing some of the stuff that we talk about, because
Because other stuff we can't
we can't
put
put
that
out
on
there.
there.
But I'm
Yeah.
gonna start clipping that and putting it at the end of the credits on the video podcast, because I think that'd be interesting for people to see some of
Yeah.
that dynamic that's not quite after hours, but still is something different from the show. So
Okay. Okay.
speaking of sizes,
Mhm.
have you had this problem with Instacart deliveries?
Okay.
So I routinely get Instacart deliveries from the grocery store because
Okay.
lazy isn't the right word. The grocery store is about a mile away. Everybody knows I don't have a car, so I walk. I walk all over the place all the time. I love to
Yeah.
walk.
Yeah.
But like when the weather's bad or just when I don't feel like it,
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm just gonna pay the extra to get it delivered.
Yeah.
And so I had them pick up some ground beef
Mhm.
and some chicken and some other stuff. And when I grocery shop, when I grocery shop, I
Okay.
look at the prices on the package. Okay.
Yes.
And
And you
I'm going,
find the cheapest chicken,
yes,
little 4-pack that you, even if it's a couple cents, you find what's the cheapest pack that's out here. Okay. Yes.
I bought some ground beef yesterday. It was a pound of ground beef, and it was
Mhm.
something like, I saw the packs yesterday, and it was like 702, 711,
Yeah.
713. I damn sure grabbed that 702.
Yeah.
I don't know why we do this. What's the difference of a few cents that we
It
throw
adds
away?
up.
It does add up. But these Instacart delivery people be choosing the higher priced ones. And I'm thinking that they think that that's going to increase their tip.
It
I've
is.
already pre-programmed the tip in there, so it's a percentage. And
Yeah,
I
it's a
be tempted.
percentage
Yeah, I
of
be
the
tempted.
total.
Right, I
So
be tempted
yeah.
to go in there and adjust that tip, because I'm like, you're trying to gouge me right now to get a bigger tip.
Yeah.
I will give you a bigger tip to choose the cheaper package. That's what I will do. Stop
You end
trying.
up paying the same anyway though.
Well, I would rather go to them than get me that by
Ex-
trying to game me. I feel like
expensive ass meat.
yeah,
Yeah. I'd
I
rather
feel
just give you that money and the tip.
right.
Don't grab that 713 package. Grab that 648 package.
I'm gonna start putting notes in the Instacart and being like, look, don't be trying to don't be trying to price gouge me. Get the cheapest one of this particular thing that I'm
Yeah.
looking for.
Yeah.
Don't raise up on me. Don't
Now
raise it up on me.
is that a cultural thing or is that a economic thing?
I think that falls along economic lines. And we're going to talk about Black people in poverty in one of our YouTube exclusive videos. But because disproportionately Black people are in poverty,
Mm-hmm.
we can assume that it's a Black thing, but it's really an economical thing. A lot of
Yeah.
things that we assume as a cultural Black thing is really economics, right? It really
Yeah.
falls on economics. So
But I feel like regardless of our economic position,
Mhm.
we still do that.
Yeah, we still do that. I know somebody who doesn't even look at she told me, yeah, I don't even look at the prices in the grocery store. And I was like, you see,
That makes no sense.
but she also grew up with a swimming pool in the backyard. And I was like, you
Ah.
don't have no real concept of money. And she was like, no, when I first moved here, I was only making $20,000 a year and I was broke and my parents wouldn't help me out. I was like, yeah, but your parents also pay for your college and sent you on like trips abroad.
Yeah.
So yeah, you had to suffer a little bit. I was
Yeah.
like, you have no real concept of money.
Yeah.
Like, not really.
Yeah.
We grew up not poor. Poor is not, we didn't grow up poor. Like, we weren't poor. We didn't
No.
have a lot of money,
Right.
but we weren't poor. Like I say, poor people don't ever get their own room.
Yes.
We eventually all had our own room.
Yeah.
It took a little
Yeah.
while. I didn't get
Yeah.
mine until I was a teenager, but I eventually had my own room. That
Yeah.
means that you're not poor.
Right.
But we didn't have a whole lot of money. So it was like, be sensible with your money. It did not transfer to us as adults because
No, I don't think any of us are very sensible with money. No.
none of us are sensible with money. Not at all. And here's the crazy thing. I'll be so cheap in certain things and so extravagant in other things. And
Yes.
there's kind of no rhyme or reason for it.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. The stuff that I will spend money on and just be like, no, I'll pay whatever price.
Right.
Versus things, and it be stuff that you need. Yes. And I'm like, I ain't gonna get it. Not for $7.58. I don't even need lotion that bad.
No, you definitely need lotion that bad.
Right, but I'm saying it's stuff that you need, and you be like, oh Lord, I got to pay $9.98 for toothpaste. You know, like it's and you be like, oh, I could just put some baking soda and some water, make it a paste.
I mean, you could.
That's my point. But there's stuff you absolutely don't need.
You're like willing, money ain't a thing.
Money ain't a thing. You just be paper everywhere.
Don't get around me when I've been drinking and we go out. I know when the three of us go out, when the three of us in the rare opportunities that we go out.
Yes.
I'm always, one of us is always like, don't worry, I got it.
Yeah.
We got it. We ball it. And then the next morning was like, what was we doing? Why did we do this?
Why did we do this?
Why?
Yeah.
And my thing is, I don't do it anymore because I don't go out like that. But when I do go out, I'm like, everybody, let's get around the shots. You want a shot? You want a shot too? I look at the bills like, why did I do this?
Why?
I could have just got me a drink.
As soon as the bill comes. And it's like, I'll do that. I'll ask a friend, you want to go get something to eat? And I'm like, it's on me. And then we just ordering stuff. And then the bill comes like, damn, did we need that carafe for mimosas? We could have just got one each. We didn't need that carafe.
Especially when half of it's still left over.
Right. I'm like, look, can we get a to-go cup?
I'll never forget the time that you and our brother screwed me.
That's happened several times. What specific time are you talking about?
It was a Mother's Day.
Okay. That still feels like you got to narrow it down a little more.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell this interesting story, and then we're going to get into some serious topics, but I got to tell this interesting story because we're going there now. So it was a Mother's Day, and I don't think I was engaged yet, but my ex was with us.
Yeah.
And we took mom to brunch. It was me, you, our brother, mom, and my ex. And we went to this brunch.
Okay.
We went to this brunch. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm older than my siblings.
Yes.
So it like I was the first and everything. I was the first one to graduate college, high school, all that stuff. So as I'm like in my adult life, they're kind of still in school or just getting out of school. When they're just getting out of school, I've been in my adult life. So I'm just a little bit more further along in life because I'm the oldest.
Right.
And I'm not just oldest by a year or two. I'm oldest by 4 and then 5.5 years. So I'm the oldest. So we take mom out to brunch and I'm like, it's brunch. It's all you can eat brunch. Why are we ordering appetizers? Like, why are we doing that? Why are we ordering off the menu appetizers?
I don't remember this. Okay.
And y'all also did this one time for Dad's birthday too. And there was another buffet, all you can eat thing. I was like, why are we ordering appetizers? And so y'all was ordering all up a storm. The bill comes and I look at y'all and I'm like, hey, y'all just want to split it. And you look me dead in my face. And you say, I ain't got no money. And I say, what? And I say, what?
That does feel on brand for me. I don't remember this specific instance. I do remember other times where I fully anticipated that I would have money on the day, and then the day comes and the money is just not there. And I'm just like, okay, I don't know what to do. So just be honest and say, I ain't got no money.
But you could have told me in the beginning. And then our brother, who didn't have any money either, kept putting his library card out there. And I was like, all right, I know you playing and stuff. Put your real card out there. And he looked at me, he's like, I ain't got no money. And my ex was heated. She looked at me, she was like, is this what normally happens? I was like, yeah, this happens often. So I guess I'll just pay for it. And I remember she was mad. That was the only time she's ever gotten mad at y'all, because she was just like, what, like, who does that? I was like, they do it all the time. They literally do it all the time.
Yeah,
Our
we were
brother went,
absolutely trifling. Like I can't. I'm not even gonna debate that. No, we were in my 20s. Boy, oh boy, trifling. I was like, he the oldest, he got it.
yes, that was the thing. It was like, he the oldest, he got it. I'm like, I'm out here trying to live. It is tough out here.
Trying to start your own family and all kind of stuff.
Yeah,
and we like, he the oldest, he got it.
If I wasn't getting ready to start paying for a wedding, I was saving up to buy the ring.
Yeah.
I was just like, y'all just go get, and my apartment wasn't that cheap, and I'm the breadwinner of the relationship, so we supposed to be splitting half the bills, but we ain't splitting half the bills. I'm paying a larger portion of it, and then y'all come with I ain't got no money. Boy, that used to, whoo! That's the reason why I stopped hanging out with y'all.
Yeah, yeah, it was bad. It was bad, but nowadays, I mean, I'm still kind of like that with you and our brother, but like nowadays, I think we try to contribute a little bit now.
Things are different now, but I did notice. I did notice the last time we went out for Thanksgiving. Did nobody offer to give me no money for the Thanksgiving meal?
I did. Oh, the Thanksgiving meal.
Thanksgiving meal. And when we went out to the bar, I had started a tab, and finally I said, hey, I ain't paying for no more of these drinks. Y'all gonna have to start buying your own drinks.
I thought I had a tab too.
Nah, yeah. After I already bought.
No, because I had gotten food early.
Nope, no, you didn't get food. We got food at the same time. That's when you started your tab.
Oh, you want to know why? Because me and our cousin had scammed some drink tickets out of the bouncer.
That's
so
right.
we were drinking free shots.
That's right. Y'all definitely was.
Yeah.
Y'all definitely was. Well, speaking of money and benefits.
Yeah.
The Trump administration is about to cut the staff at the VA, and it's going to affect veterans benefits. And we're going to get into that next. All right, this country always talks about supporting the troops. And what they truly, truly mean, in my opinion, this is my unsolicited perspective, is what they mean is they want to build defense. That they don't really support the troops, they support defense. Because if they supported the troops, the veteran benefits would be better.
Yeah.
There was just a leaked memo that Doge and this current administration plan to lay off 76,000+ employees to comply with Trump's federal workforce cuts, reverting staff to its 2019 levels of just under 400,000 employees. The rationale being a reduction in force and a reorganization plan to streamline operations. The due date for something like this is going to be April 14th, the final plan being June, and is managed to reorganize the entire cell by the end of 2025. So Democrats, of course, are just like, yo, what are y'all doing? What this is going to do is lead to chaos. It's going to be longer wait times for healthcare, delayed benefits, and strained services for veterans. Yeah. But they're going to stick with it. The rationale being that this reorganization is going to streamline the process. There's more details, and I'll get into that in a minute. But Jay, I just wanted to get your perspective on how they think cutting staff is going to streamline the process to make it easier for people, for the veterans, the people that fought for this country, the people that lost limbs, for their families, because there are people, the veterans that passed, their families get these benefits as well. For all those people that truly, truly sacrificed for this country, you got these people in suits determining what they can and cannot have and reducing the staff to the point where it's already hard for a lot of veterans to get their benefits. They think by streamlining, by reducing staff, it's going to streamline. And everybody else is saying, no, that's just going to create chaos.
Yeah. It's almost like people who haven't served are making decisions for the people who have. So According to VA Secretary Doug Collins, healthcare and benefits will remain unaffected despite layoffs. Well, that's a lie, right? Because a reduced workforce means longer wait times. It's just a fact. Like, if you have fewer people, there's going to create more delays. So it's going to negatively impact service delivery, which is going to negatively impact the well-being of veterans. There is no way we can maintain the level of quality service with a reduction in workforce. This is a travesty. It's a travesty because we're already, in my opinion, underserving our veteran community. It's already like they deserve the best care in the world for what they have sacrificed for our country. And so the fact that they're not getting it, and then you want to further reduce the workforce and make it even harder to get quality care, absolutely ridiculous. So again, it's like, let me think. It's like the person who has the best healthcare in the world is making decisions for people who don't have that level of access. Because make no mistake, the president of the United States is the best healthcare in the world. The best doctors, the best hospitals, the best healthcare in the world. And this person has never served, never even tried to.
Dodged with his bone spurs in his foot.
Right. So, and then again, you've got Musk and Doge, again, never served, never even got close to it. Not American. I'm going to say that. I don't care. And I love that we have an immigrant community. Some of y'all are trash, and he's trash.
Okay, let's be careful here. Let's be careful here. What you're saying is some immigrants are trash, just like some American citizens are trash.
Yes.
Even though I really don't believe anybody is truly trash. I mean,
Elon Musk is trash.
He's a despicable human person.
Yeah, what's the difference? That makes him trash.
I just don't like calling people trash. Truly trash to me is like, you hurt kids or something like that. That's trash. The rest is just.
Is he not? Are they not hurting children by what they're doing to the Department of Education? Are they not hurting children by what they're doing to Medicare and Medicaid? Are they not hurting children by reduction of SNAP benefits? Are they not hurting children by not enforcing common sense gun legislation? Are they not hurting children? So again, I say trash.
All right, point taken. That was very, very valid, and I can't argue against that. That's okay. Shut up! Don't look. If y'all was watching the video, she just did a little nod, like, "Yes, I proved my point." I like, yeah, you be right sometimes.
No,
sometimes.
we have a beautiful and dynamic immigrant community in this country, and I do not consider a part of that.
Well, what does the VA actually do? Right? Like, I know some people out there that talk about the VA. First of all, what does the VA actually do? So the VA manages the health care for veterans, determines eligibility for benefits like loans, education, pensions, things of that nature, and maintains cemeteries and memorial services for veterans.
Yes.
Now, I have this strong opinion of veterans that no matter how I feel about their personal stances, I will never, ever speak ill of a veteran because they were willing to do something that I would never really want to do.
Yeah. And not to mention, we have veterans in our family.
Yes.
And we're very proud of them.
A lot of them, actually. Yeah. But there are some veterans out there who are Trump supporters, who might even be part of it. I mean, we know that there's a lot in the Proud Boys and some of these Nazi groups and everything like that. Yeah. That one side of me wants to say, "What the hell with y'all?" But another side of me wants to say, "You know what, y'all fought for this country, whether you wanted to or not. specifically for me fought for my freedom and my safety. And because you did that, I will never deprive you or speak ill of your service to this country,
Right.
because I feel like that is top tier. These politicians think that they service the country. No, the people that go fight in our wars service the country, because the politicians are sending these people off to war.
Yeah.
And so I've always, I said, if I ever ran for office, it would be to improve the VA, because being in Washington, D.C., doing what I do professionally, I interact with a lot of veterans, a lot of people that are in the armed forces and all that stuff, and the fight that they have to get for their benefits.
Yeah.
Also, let's just say that the VA also does the need to be cleaned up, because historically, the VA hasn't been that great of giving people all of their benefits. So there's a part of me that believes, yeah, a reorganization, a fixing of the VA is a good thing. But
Yeah.
once again, downsizing the government is also a good thing. It's the way they're going about doing it. And yeah, the VA needs to be fixed, because don't get me started on what they did to Black soldiers, specifically the Black soldiers after World War II.
Yeah.
Things like the GI Bill that is supposed to be giving to soldiers after they're just supposed to have, right?
Right.
Were denied to Black soldiers when they came home after World War II. Housing grants and things of that nature, all those benefits were denied to Black soldiers. So when we talk about economic disparity,
Yeah.
know that veterans that fought for this country, some got their benefits, some didn't, and that established generations for the future, while
Yeah.
others were held back for the future.
Yeah.
So if you fought, that's the reason why I'm making this point. There are people out there that are veterans that I just absolutely don't agree with ideology-wise, right? Like we
Yeah.
are fundamentally opposed to each other.
But they're going over there and fighting for the freedom to believe what they want to believe
Right.
and the freedom of speech. So you can believe what I can disagree with you, politically, and still support you when you come home.
Yes. And the VA does need, some help, right? Some things need to be addressed in the VA.
Yeah.
But so Doge has consistently, and this is the reason why there was a report earlier this week that Elon Musk and Marco Rubio got into it in the Oval Office, right? They got into it, and Trump supposedly took Marco Rubio's side and said, "Hey, Elon, you're just an advisor." But this man has put himself in the government talking about waste, but it just seems like none of his contracts actually are waste.
Yeah. The thing of it is, you can't just say we're going to streamline or create efficiencies by reducing the workforce. There needs to be a plan in place to then create those efficiencies with the remaining workforce. I don't think there is. I think there's just the cuts, and then he walks away and is like, you guys figure out how to work this more efficiently. Because again, not a great businessman. Neither one.
Yeah, neither one of them. And
Okay.
so I'm trying to figure out, I manage people. That's what I do, right? I manage people. I manage people, groups of people, sometimes small, sometimes large, to finish things. Whether it's a project, a program, things of that nature. I manage people. Never once has there been a point where a reduction of my people streamlined the process and made it more efficient.
No.
Things can get clogged up is constant communication back and forth, the people not making a decision. However, the people in charge have to set a standard of, we're not going to keep talking about this going back and forth. These are the things that need to get done, get them done. This is how you get them done. You take care of this, you take care of this, you take care of this. But the fact that they're trying to say, well, we're going to eliminate jobs, and in that process, things are going to become more streamlined, doesn't make sense to me.
No.
And so it's a lie. It's a lie to just reduce the federal workforce, because what they're trying to do is take money from certain programs and put it into programs that they want.
Yeah. I mean, we see it when the House proposed cuts to social programs and services in order to give billionaires a tax cut.
Yes. Yes.
That's what y'all voted for.
And make no mistake about it, ladies and gentlemen. Realize when we spend, I don't know what the figure is, but I know it's multi-billions, it might even be trillions of dollars on defense. That money ain't going to veterans. Like it's going to private contractors, private companies who are developing our weapon systems. And don't get me wrong, I believe in tooling up. I believe in having a strong defense. You are not going to tell me that we don't need to put a ton of money into defense. We do. I agree with that. We also need to put a ton of money into veterans benefits. These people come home, never mind the fact that there was the history of the VA, right?
Mhm.
There have been other times where people haven't gotten their services or been suppressed, or a reduction in benefits. Reduction in benefits after the Korean War, there was delayed PTSD recognition and Agent Orange impacts in Vietnam. We have done a disservice to our veterans because there's so many that commit suicide after they come home. It's because what they see over there is horrible.
Yeah. What they see, what they experience, what they have to do. And just as a side note, so for fiscal year 2023, the US spent $820 billion on its military. So very, very close to $1 trillion, which is 13% of the federal budget. And the US is the world's largest military spender.
I mean, hey, look, we tool up. That's what we do.
Yeah.
But the money don't go to the veterans. It does not. It does not go to the veterans. And
I mean, it pays their salary, but I mean, could more of it go towards
benefits,
the care that they receive coming home? We need to be focusing on the mental well-being of veterans, not just their physical health. We need to open up more programs for them to talk about their experiences, maybe like group sessions or something where we can help them reacclimate to civilian life in a healthy way and care more about their well-being. And I feel like we're just not doing that. We don't do that writ large, honestly. Have part of preventative healthcare. I've always said part of preventative healthcare needs to also be mental health care. Mental health care is not a privilege of the wealthy. It should not be. It should be part of your preventative care. So yeah, this is a terrible idea.
Another terrible
idea. Of course, it's facing opposition from Democrats, but even some Republicans are given very, cautious responses because, again, you don't want to upset the king. So, so everybody's, tiptoeing and being very cautious about, stressing the need to maintain like quality services. But hopefully, this leaked. I don't know. Hopefully the opposition will change their minds about doing this, because I really feel like it would be a disservice to our service members.
Well, I would say it would be. And the only way that there'll be pressure is from Congress and senators, GOP Congress and senators that go back to their home state, that have to deal with their constituents who are veterans or families of veterans that are feeling the effects of this. Because we have seen veterans losing their jobs because of Doge and these cuts.
Yeah.
And these town halls, even though Musk tries to say it's a George Soros, they be trying to connect George Soros to everything.
Yeah.
When I'm like, no, it's people pissed off.
George be looking up from a cheeseburger like, what? What I do?
What I do this time? What I do?
Who said what?
And yeah, you see these town halls, and and Republicans are trying to say, well, no, this is all Democrat backed stuff. No, you need to listen to your constituents because
Yeah.
there are real people losing jobs. I just saw a report the other day in West Virginia. The majority of West Virginia, like employment, is based off of federal employment,
Yes.
and they're about to West Virginia, one of the poorest states, if not the poorest state in the union. It's going to be a death blow to their economy
Yeah.
when they do more federal cuts and these people lose their jobs. And there was a lot of people that voted Trump. That was the state that he won by the most.
Mhm.
There's a lot of people that's just like, oh, we didn't, this is not what we thought. What a lot of people thought is like, not us, them.
Yeah.
No, it's
Yeah.
you. It's
Yeah.
you. And so
Yeah.
there is a backlash. And so eventually these GOP Congress people, senators and House of Representatives, are going to go back to their districts. The constituency is going to say, hey, look, what are y'all doing up there? We didn't vote for this. And then at a certain point when their
Yes, you
jobs
did.
are, well, they did, but they didn't think that they were. At a
Mhm.
certain point, when these people in Congress are starting to lose their jobs, then that's when they put pressure on the president and his agenda doesn't get pushed forward.
Yeah.
But it's going to start on the grassroots level, and they are typical rich people who don't have any idea what it's like to be normal,
Mhm.
to be an average citizen. They're
Mhm.
just like cut, because they don't have to deal with these type of things, right? They
No.
don't have to deal with looking at the package of chicken and trying to get that 702 instead of that
Right.
711.
Right.
They don't have any concept of it. And
Right.
what they're doing is they're hurting their own agenda by hurting their own people. And it's going to come back to bite them in the butt. That's what I believe. That's where
Yeah.
I'm going with it.
I just find it interesting that they're still managing to blame Democrats when y'all have the House, Senate, and the White House.
Yeah, no, I mean, but that's their playbook.
Yeah.
They live on us versus them.
Mhm.
I mean, it's what this country was been built on, us versus them.
Yeah, but the people who think that they're in the us category don't realize that they're in the them category. And that's what y'all are starting to realize now, that you thought you were part of us. Yeah, so did the overseer. But the truth of the matter is they're not a rich landowning white person.
That's
Okay?
a great analogy.
They were not ever part of us. And y'all aren't part of us either.
Not like us.
Not like us.
Not like us. But I mean, hey, look, I think America will turn its nose to disparaging veterans. But then again, Mark Kelly came out with a whole book about how Trump has disparaged people like soldiers that lost limbs and stuff like that and didn't want to go
Yeah.
to certain cemeteries, and like he's
Yeah.
already done this and people
Yeah.
still voted for him. So
Yeah.
I don't, it might not make a difference.
You got to understand that there is no moral compass there. Like you're trying to put that on people who do not have that. There is no moral compass there. They're willing to put up with the racism. They're willing to put up with the sexism. They're willing to put up with the homophobia and the transphobia. They're willing to put up with the anti-immigrant sentiment. They're willing to put up with the cuts to the federal workforce. They're willing to put up to cuts to things that serve our veterans. They're willing to put up with kids being killed in their classrooms because they refuse to do anything about common sense gun legislation. Like they're willing to put up with literally a man who is a criminal because there is no moral compass there. Because they think that they're a part of us. And as long as they think that they're a part of us and that everybody else is them, they will continue to side with who wouldn't side with the majority power.
Oh, I mean, people are front runners, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know how simple it is. Look at sports. Look at sports. A
Mhm.
team winning, all of a sudden they gain a lot of fans. Like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, because you want to be a part of the winning side.
Right.
It's kind of like what's happening now with DEI and what happened with affirmative action and things like that, right?
Mhm.
During Biden administration, Black Lives Matter was like a really great thing. Before Biden administration, the Trump administration, there were certain people that was just like, it was the most hated group ever.
Yeah.
Biden administration, we had a whole plaza here in Washington, D.C. I went down there several times and took pictures. Black Lives Matter Plaza. They're about to get rid of that.
Yes.
The mayor
Yeah.
is about to get rid of that, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like, because now the winning team is the other side.
Yeah.
So all those things, the winning team before was Biden. Now it's Trump. So that's where the winds kind of blow. And
Yeah.
so people are not going to realize it until it's too late. And guess what? It's too late now. It's too late
Yeah.
to say, well, I kind of regret my vote for the president, which you're hearing.
Yes.
You're hearing these people say this. It's too late.
It's too
We
late.
told you. We told you exactly what they was going to do. It was a whole playbook.
They
There was
told
a-
you exactly what they put. They published the playbook.
Trump has said, I love the poorly educated and the poorly educated love me. He said it. He said, y'all
Yes.
are dumb and y'all love me.
Yeah.
He said, they love me so much I could stand in the middle of the street, shoot somebody, and they'll let me off. And you know
And
what?
they
would.
cheered.
Mhm.
And they
would.
cheered at being disparaged.
Yep.
And
Yep.
you just got to think, say what now? But we tried to tell you that if you are not looking out for the most vulnerable in your community, everybody is going to suffer as a result. If you think you can step on the necks of people in order to get up, in order to rise, somebody gonna grab your ankle and pull you back. Listen, it doesn't work that way. And they're maintaining and consolidating their power by making you believe that it does work that way. That as long as you join our team, don't worry, we won't treat you like we treat them. You're voting against them and siding with us, except you don't know that you're part of them.
Mhm.
But you're going to find out if you haven't already. And a lot of people in West Virginia are finding out.
Or about to find out. Look, you know what they say. Hard head, make a soft behind. We tried to tell you. You ain't want to listen. We gave you the advice.
Yeah.
You want to listen to. We gave you good advice.
Yeah.
You didn't want to listen to.
Because please do not ever mistake that Black people thought that with affirmative action and DEI initiatives and programs and a Black Lives Matter plaza that we had gotten somewhere. Please don't think that we ever were placated by making Juneteenth a federal holiday. No, we were not.
Congress wearing Kunta Kinte cloth.
Yeah. Like we were never that. None of that stuff ever addressed the real systemic issues that we're facing in a real and tangible way that couldn't have somehow been distorted or hell, I don't know, even commodified in some ways, right? Like you got people selling BLM merchandise and stuff like that aren't even a part of the movement. Mm-hmm. So it's like, don't think that we were ever dumb enough to think that this country gave a damn about us. So when you see us sitting back now and watching everything burn and just being like, that's a damn shame. And you wondering why we not on the front lines, because we told you. We told you, and we weren't dumb enough to think that we were in some better place in the first place. We lived and worked and thrived without affirmative action and without DEI initiatives, and we will continue to again. We will continue to thrive and live without a street painted Black Lives Matter. Like, we'll be fine. Like, we'll be just fine. We are used to this. We're not new to this, unfortunately. But y'all are getting a firsthand look on how it feels to be us. Not great, is it?
And like I said, we told y'all didn't want to listen to our advice. And speaking of advice,
nice
segue. I know we gave y'all good advice, but just in general, when giving advice, do you give good advice? We're going to get into that next. All right, sis. I want to start off by the topic that we're talking about now, specifically because you called me last night for some advice.
Yes.
And one, I always take it as such a privilege. Being your brother.
Yeah.
And I guess, I mean, because I'm your older brother, but being your big brother and how you'll be like, hey, big bro, I need your advice on something.
Yeah.
And that you'll actually be like, all right, okay, you make valid points here.
Yeah. I'm not going to call people I'm not going to listen to.
Yeah, sometimes you haven't listened to me. But
well, did I ask for your advice?
Hold on. I don't give unsolicited advice. I learned.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't. No, I don't. Not anymore. I learned a long time ago not to give unsolicited advice. What I would do is say when somebody is telling me about something, I will ask, do you want me to just listen or do you want my advice? I will ask that.
Yeah.
But I don't give unsolicited advice because I'm tired of always being right and people not listening to me. So,
yeah. No, I feel you on that.
And my best friend always sends a meme. Like when guys have female friends in this platonic relationship, right? And they're coming to you with their men troubles.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're not going to listen to me.
Right.
Like I'm telling you what it is and you're not listening to me. And it's always this like little mean, I'm tired of trying to raise my best friend.
I mean, no, sometimes that's real. Sometimes that's real. People be in Delulu land and you're trying to be like, hey, you're being delusional right now. And
right.
They don't want to hear it.
And they don't want to hear it.
Sometimes you just got to chalk it up to the game and just let that person be delusional.
But we were talking last night. We got into a really good conversation. And that's the reason why I want to carry it on to the show, just about advice. And I brought up how our father told both of us a story about him getting advice from his uncles. And he was like, it was dumb advice, but it was the best advice that they could give me.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, sometimes people give you the best advice that they could give you. And then we eventually talking it out came to the conclusion that it's not the best advice that they can give you, but it's, what did we say it was?
Good question. You asking me.
Yeah, I know. We said it was the best advice
they could give in that moment.
I don't even think that's what it was. It was the best advice
that they had the capacity to give.
Yeah, that they had the capacity to give.
The best they can be. Like, I think a lot of times we dismiss harmful things by saying that that's the best that person can do. And the truth of the matter is the best you can do is the best. Like that's
better.
Yeah. It's much better than what you're doing. Like the best you could do, that's not the best you could do. That's what you had the capacity to do.
Right. Yes, that's what we came to the conclusion of. And so a lot of people have to think about, like, should I even be the one to be giving advice? And a lot of people aren't self-aware like that. Like, I believe that I give great advice all the time. But then sometimes I have to take a step back and be like, do I?
Yeah, like, no, I constantly am interrogating myself when people call me for advice, and I'll say, hey, I'm not the best person to give you advice on this, because I the only thing I could be is really like a cautionary tale, which sometimes that is good advice. Like, hey, I can tell you how I messed up these situations. I can tell you how I did things wrong, and hopefully you will avoid the mistakes that I made if I tell you these are the consequences of making the wrong decision. But as far as telling you what's the right thing to do, I'm not the best person for that. So I just know what I did was wrong.
Right.
So maybe that'll be helpful for you. But I constantly like interrogating, like, am I the right person for you to ask this of? Sometimes yes, sometimes absolutely not.
I like to give disclaimers when I give advice. And when I give advice, my mind is always, I'm always thinking, like my mind is always turning. Even when I'm talking, I'm like, that's interesting that I just said that. Because sometimes I don't know what I'm going to say. Sometimes I just start talking.
Stuff comes out.
And just
stuff
comes out.
Oh, here you go.
And then here you go. And they're like, oh, I'm thinking this out as I'm talking.
Yeah.
And so sometimes people come, all my friends come to me for relationship advice, not relationship advice. For relationship advice.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know, because it's not like I've had successful relationships.
Right. But I think it's like you have experience with relationships. So you can speak from that position of like,
so much experience.
I've had experience with it. And so I can tell you about my experience and maybe that'll be helpful. But I think we need to separate that from actual advice.
Yeah. Well, so I give disclaimers, right? I
Yeah.
say, well, this is how I would handle it, but I don't know if this is necessarily the right way to handle it due to my childhood trauma and my emotional disconnect. Because I have a simple equation in life that I don't know if it's the healthiest equation. It kind of worked for me. And I have an equation, if any singular thing is giving me more anxiety than it's giving me joy, I cut it.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is I have generalized anxiety disorder. So
Yeah.
everything gets me anxiety.
Yes.
So it's just like when I get into, especially relationships, when I start getting in my head too much and it starts causing me anxiety, I'm out.
Yeah.
So that's my baseline. So when people come to me for advice, I'm like, look, this is how I would handle it, but I don't know if this is the healthiest thing.
Right.
You need to take an examination of what it is that you want and see if this person is what you want as they currently are, or if you're projecting.
Yeah.
And I think I'm good at seeing through BS and just telling people the real. Like, this is what you want in your mind.
Yeah.
But this is what the reality is.
Right.
And so that I don't necessarily tell people what to do exactly. I just say, this is what your perception of this situation is.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the reality. And
Right.
then from that, now that you know the reality, that you're not blinded by what you think it is, it's up to you to make a decision. And so that's my advice. Ain't really advice. It's just like telling people the real. Like when you sent me the video that brought this up, that I was like, yeah, we're going to talk about this as a continuation for what we were talking about on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
It was a brother,
Mm-hmm.
of a sister,
Mm-hmm.
not a brother, but he was Black, but a brother of a sister, basically telling the sister, who was all heartbroken over a relationship that ended, it's like, wait a minute, y'all weren't in a relationship. You weren't his girlfriend. You don't even know him. You just
living in Delulu land.
You living
You're
in
delusional. Like, it's like that's I think I give more like of my experience, which is, so I had to Google it. Like, is there a difference between experience and advice? So experience is a real world example of how someone has acted in a given situation. Advice is a suggestion or recommendation for how someone should act. I try to stay away from telling people how they should act, right? Because everybody's different. So, I mean, unless I feel like it's something dangerous to you or another person, then I'll be like, don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Do not do that. I don't care what you do, but that thing that you want to do, don't do that. Like, I'll do that. But as far as like, here's the situation, here's how I think you should handle it, I don't really do that. I will tell you an experience from my life, and I'll let you draw your own conclusion about what's the best way for you to move forward. Because I'm not you. I don't have to live your life.
Right. Facts.
You
Facts.
do. Yeah. So whatever decision you make is going to be on you. It's not going to be on me. So why should I make that decision for you? The best I can do is tell you, hey, this is what I've gone through. If that's helpful for you in any way, I hope so. And good luck and God bless.
So I kind of do that.
Mm-hmm.
But then me being who I am, I'm such an asshole. I'm so sarcastic. People will tell me something and then I'll just, so my advice is just a question.
Yeah.
That's what you think about that situation? Or that's how you responded in that situation? Or that's how you want to handle that situation?
Yeah.
And then I kind of roll my eyes, and just not roll my eyes. I kind of just, somebody that's close to me says that I have this tick, and then it's just, I'll say something. It's posed as a question, but it's not really a question.
No.
It's posed as a question, but it's really me saying,
And that's a very Black thing to be like, well, if you like it, I love it. Like that's a very, that's like, different. That's what you want to do. You better than me.
That's different than what I'm actually doing. What I'm actually doing is trying to make them think about what their response to the situation is.
So yeah, it's the same thing. If I say, "Oh, that's how you gonna handle that," you better than me. That's now you're like, "Oh, you wouldn't handle it like that." Okay, now I'm interrogating the way that I handled it. Well, if you like it, I love it.
One woman I
couldn't be
dated.
me.
One woman I dated one time, I said she was talking to me about problems she was having, and all I did was I was like, and she was like, "There you go again." I was like, "What?" She was like, "Whenever you have a thought that you don't want to say, you just go or you make a little sound." I was like, "I do?" She's like, "Yeah, you gotta tell." And I was like, "Oh, okay." She's like, "What is it?" I was like, "No, you ain't asked me for my opinion. You just want to vent." She's like, "Obviously you got something to say." I was like, "Look, I ain't got nothing to say. You say what you no, go ahead, say what you want to say." I was like, "So you asking? You asking me?
Are you asking?
You asking me?"
It seems like it's under duress, but are you still asking?
You asking
Because if you asking, I'll tell you.
All right, well, I'm gonna tell you how I feel.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you about yourself. That's
Right.
one thing. That's my favorite thing in the whole world. Is telling
You
people
love
about
it.
this. I love
You
telling
love
people
it.
about yourself and telling people about themselves is giving them advice. But you asked me specifically for advice,
Yes.
and I don't think I gave you. Did I tell you? I didn't tell you what to do. I gave you a suggestion. I gave you a way of looking at it differently.
Yes.
And I think that's the best advice that you can give anybody. Just like, okay, I hear everything that you're saying, but maybe.
Right.
And then let people come to their own conclusions, either they get it or not, because ultimately you're right. It's their life. They got to make the decision.
Yeah. You can
So,
lead a
ladies and
horse to
gentlemen,
water. You can't make them drink.
that's right. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you out here giving unsolicited advice, first of all, determine if it's good advice within itself.
Right.
Determine if you should be the one giving advice, because some people out here have a higher opinion of themselves than they should.
Exactly.
I'm one to talk.
I didn't want to say it.
Shut up. Asshole. Jay, what do you want to lead the people with today?
Man, support your armed service members, especially when they come home. That's when they need your support the most.
The most.
So if you can get involved in some way in your community, it's a quick Google search to see if there's organizations in your community that support veterans and Veterans Affairs. Do what you can to support our armed service members.
I completely concur. And on that note, I want to thank you for listening. I want to thank you for watching. And until next time, as always, I'll holla. I just want to tell that story, but I didn't want to get that deep into it.
Right. Just gotta, let the people know that I'm trifling.
That's when you were younger.
As you take a sip, you're a real McAsshole.
No, it was younger, because there are times where you take care of things. You're like, I got it this time, and I was like, oh, okay. And our brother has gotten better at it.
Yeah.
Our brother's gotten a lot better at it. So, but I remember when we was in Hawaii, we had to look at him and be like, hey, you paying for this? Yes, you give it like the first day he opened up his wallet for nothing. He was like, yo, you gonna pay for something? You paying for this?
I was like, and trust me, I know how to finagle it. We're gonna get our money back, but you got to put some money up for our top tier segue.
Look, let me tell you something. I may not be the greatest host.
Right.
I'm getting better, but I might not be the greatest host. I ain't no what's my name? Phil Donahue. I ain't no Oprah Winfrey.
That's taking it all the way. Donahue, that's taking it all the way back. Okay.
I ain't no Montel's Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But what I am, this is what I know for sure.
I ain't no Ricardo Lake. Whatever her name was.
It was Ricky.
Well.
But what I am is a good damn producer. That's what I know.
Yeah.
I'm a good damn producer. Yeah. I know I'm a good damn producer.
Yeah. So the thing I hate about this light is I feel like I'm even more light skinned under this light. Right, and I wonder.
You got a light directly. Well, you're more of your complexion, because the lamp used to give you this yellow tint.
Yeah.
And no, that gave you even whiter tint.
Yeah. Okay. Let me bring it.
No, that's too yellow.
Damn it.
You just put it back to what it was.
Oh, hell is this?
You light skin.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
All right,
You know.
let me turn the light down a little bit. No, it's all the way down. Down. I didn't know it was all the way down.
You know what my advice is? Just leave it the fuck the way it is.
Yeah,
All right.
just leave it.
Whew. That was a hell of a show. Thank you for rocking with us here on Unsolicited Perspectives with Bruce Anthony. Now, before you go, don't forget to follow, subscribe, like, comment, and share our podcast wherever you're listening or watching it to it. Pass it along to your friends. If you enjoy it, that means the people that you rock with will enjoy it also. So share the wealth, share the knowledge, share the noise. And for all those people that say, well, I don't have a YouTube. If you have a Gmail account, you have a YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can actually watch our video podcast and YouTube exclusive content. But the real party is on our Patreon page, After Hours Uncensored and Talking Straight-ish. After Hours Uncensored is another show with my sister. And once again, the key word there is uncensored. Those are exclusively on our Patreon page. Jump onto our website at unsolicitedperspectives.com for all things us. That's where you can get all of our audio, video, our blogs, and even buy our merch. And if you really feel generous and want to help us out, you can donate on our donations page. Donations go strictly to improving our software and hardware so we can keep giving you guys good content that you can clearly listen to and that you can clearly see. So any donation would be appreciative. Most importantly, I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you for listening and watching and supporting us. And I'll catch you next time. Audi 5000. Peace.